Hi guys. I said I would make a new video when I hit 50 subscribers, and I did. So here I am. Sorry, not good at holding the phone. I have big updates. I'm no longer in Utah. Staying in there. Got a coffee in my vape. So update is I got a job at Burger King, and I became a general manager there for a while. I help around 3 restaurants at the same time. Really crazy, like doing over, I would say, 35 people's schedules and truck orders and inventory. It was a really crazy time in my life. Towards the end of my career at Burger King, I met a guy through my mom, and I was hoping, since she picked him, he would be perfect. In the beginning, he was, sorry, I'm fidgety because I'm nervous. In the beginning, he was great. A little bit about him: he has a little bit of mental illnesses, like depression and severe depression and anxiety, and unaliving themselves. And I was back in Utah, and I was working at Burger King, and I electrocuted myself trying to put the broiler together because it wouldn't turn on or start. And me being me, I was fidgeting and touching everything, and I got electrocuted. Ended up going to the hospital. Everything was fine. Came back to work the next day. But then the next week, the next following Monday, I ended up going to the hospital again for feminine products. Well, not products, but feminine issues. And that's when I found out I had a thyroid issue. And that was crazy on itself, because doing some research, like, all my dieting and exercises never worked, and I was really defeated on my weight, and I was just going to be an Oompa Loompa forever, I decided. But it turns out that your thyroid mimics, well, your your metabolism mimics your thyroid. So if you don't have a high thyroid, your metabolism is not good, and that's what I have. Is very low thyroid. I'm on medication now. But your thyroid also affects, like, your mood swings, the way that your body burns energy, sleeping, depression. Like, I was diagnosed with depression, and the depression medication wasn't working, and I just felt that I was just meant to be sad and miserable forever. And honestly, since I've been taking my thyroid medication, maybe 2 weeks after I've been taking them, I haven't really been depressed. So of course I get sad. Everyone gets sad, but I think there's a difference before being sad and being depressed, because there was days I couldn't get out of my bed, and not even to eat, and I would hold my bodily functions until the very last minute, until I finally had to go to the bathroom, but I wouldn't get out of bed. So that is pretty cool. It also affects mood swings and everything like that. But, and the reason why I went to the doctor is because of the guy that I was seeing, that I'm not going to name. But he was having a hard time finding a job. And because of that, and issues between me and him, fighting and arguing, because to be honest, I just felt like he wasn't attracted to me physically. Like, I think he liked me as a person, or I don't know, attracted to my personality, but like you can tell when someone doesn't find you physically attractive. And I wasn't sitting well with me, and it caused a lot of self-hate and a lot of resentment. And it would just ruin my day every day that I knew he wasn't attracted to me. And even though I did everything in my power to make him happy, like I would clean his room, I would vacuum, I would let him play video games. Like, not like he had a choice, but like he would ask me, I've played video games every day this week, and I want to play tonight, but I want to spend time with you. What do you want? And I would tell him to play video games because I just wanted him happy, because, as long as I get like a kiss every now and then, or like I can put my foot on his lap, or I would come over and just massage him when I was bored or something like that. I don't mind that type, and I don't really care for video game. Like, I don't play video games, but they don't affect me if someone plays with them, as long as I feel like I'm getting attention. And literally taking a nightly shower with me would have been just suffice, and anything like that would have been fine in between games. But so we were having issues, not because of video games, just because I just knew deep down that he wasn't attracted to my body. And being a plus size girl already, and already having self-hate for your body, and when you get in a relationship that you're happy with and there's like little hiccups, but knowing that someone isn't attracted to you but it wants to lay with you, it makes no sense, and it's just really hard. But I don't want to spread his issues or his trauma, because it's not my story to tell. But so we were having issues, and we got in a fight because my best friend and I were talking about how I felt like he wasn't attracted to me physically. And my best friend said that's him treating me like shit. And he did not appreciate that, and pretty much broke up with me at a recovery event at a swimming pool. I freaked out, and I left in the middle of everything, because I'm not gonna be around where I'm not wanted. You tell me, I'm gone. Literally gone. Like, you don't even have to finish your sentence. I can be around people that want to be around me. And then a couple days go past, and we talk, and I told him again how I just felt like he wasn't attracted to me, and that it really was affecting me. And he tried to reassure me that he was, but I knew he wasn't. But when we were talking, he also informed me that he got a ticket to Illinois, Springville, Illinois, and I took him to the bus station, and we didn't know if we were going to be together or not be together, because it's really hard to be with someone that you know that they're not attracted to you. So I take him to the bus station, and we sit in there and we wait for like 3 hours, and we call the people, and they're like, oh, the bus skipped your stop, we're gonna have to reschedule for tomorrow. So we pack up all his things. He's so defeated at this point, and I reassure him that he's gonna go. If this is what God wants, and this is his, like, if this is his destiny, he's gonna go. And so the next morning we wake up at 5:30 in the morning and we start driving to the Greyhound station. And I'm like, you want to just call and make sure that the bus is coming before we get all the way there, because it's 5 in the morning. We're tired. And he calls them and they said that the bus left at 5:45 when it was scheduled to leave at 6:30. And they asked him if he wanted to reschedule, and he told them no, and that he'll just call and get his money back. So he's feeling defeated, and like I said, he has a couple mental issues, disorders, the sadness and the depression and the unaliven themselves and stuff like that. He had all those thoughts come into play, and I'm sitting there, and I at the time, because I went to the hospital and found out about my thyroid medication and my thyroid problems and all that, I had to be relieved from work. I had a doctor's note for 3 days, and during the 3 days, one of the restaurants closed down for 2 hours, and Burger King fired me over that. And so I felt like this was a sign from God that I'm supposed to take him. So as he's almost in tears in my car because he's so defeated, I said, I will pack up in 30 minutes and I will take you. I'll drop you off. I'll take you there and come back. I'm not doing anything. This is a sign. If this is where you feel like you need to go, this is where you need to go, and I will take you and drop you off. And the drive here with him was really good. It's raining. The drive on the way here was really good. I mean, we didn't fight. Me and him barely fought. Like, he would call our fights little arguments, and I wouldn't call those fights, because I've been in fights. I know I can be a bitch. I know what a fight is, and I never was with him that way. So we get here, and there's storms and tornadoes, and we had to hide under an overpass, and it was a crazy experience. And then when we get here, we meet the people that he's going to be working for and all that, and they give him some money, and he gives me the money, and he says, look, you have enough money to go home. And he said, please don't, though. Please stay here with me and let's do this together. I know this wasn't the plan, but let's do it together. I don't want you to leave. So end up staying. The first night we end up sleeping in my car. Oh no, actually we drove here and slept in my car. The first night here we slept at his friend's house. The second night we drove to a KOA, and that's where we're at now, is a KOA. And we meet the family here, and we tell them our story of how he wants to unalive himself, and just our traveling story pretty much. And they gave us a tent, and we're from Utah, and the rainstorms here are nothing like Utah. So the first night we get here, they give us a tent, and we're setting up the tent, and we're getting it all going, and then boom, thunderstorm, and it is raining so bad. And they gave us a holy tent, so water is everywhere. I look at him, he's sleeping just fine in the freaking puddle of water, and I'm shivering. And I'm the type of person that if they're sleeping, I'm not going to wake them up because I'm uncomfortable. I'm just going to deal with it. So I dealt with it. And the next morning, we put everything in the dryer, and we tried drying out the sleeping bags and this and that. And the kind people here that owns this KOA gave us like a shade pop-up thing. So we put that on there, and then it rained again, and oh my gosh, the water just came in again, and we were soaking wet. And the guy that I came out here with, came up here to help them because their basement floods when it rains. So he was trying to help flood the basement, and I came over and helped him as well because I was already soaking wet. So we're like, I'm talking about water up into our ankles in our shoes, just sopping wet. And we get the basement unflooded and gets the little sucker thing that sucks out the water. I don't know, I'm a girl. And we get that going, and they come over and they say, oh, thank you so much for undo the basement. You didn't have to. Alright, go back to your tent and get dry. And me and him made eye contact and just chuckled, and we're like, we're not going to be dry until it stops raining. And they felt so bad, so they put us in a glamping tent. And I've never been in a glamping tent, and like, if I were to like need to live in a tent full term, I would get this, like, it's like bars instead of little, what is it? Fiberglass is what the tent poles are made out of, but these are like poles. So we stayed in that for a couple nights, and then they upgraded us again when because at first he was only working here. I physically wasn't ready to work, if that makes sense, with the new medication and all that. And I got off my birth control, so dealing with lack of hormones and the new hormones from the medication, I just wanted to be lazy. So then when I finally said yes to working with them and helping out around here, which I kind of already was before, but I'm just talking about more manual labor than just like, oh, the trash was full, so I took it out for you, or hey, let me change the toilet paper, like that little things. But now I'm actually helping. Then they put us in this. We're in a pop-up tent, well, a pop-up trailer. So now we're in that. And then he starts working at the bar. And so the reason why him and my mom met was at a sober recovery program that my mom is a part of and my uncle's a part of, and it's just a youth recovery for like drugs and eating disorders and other things for youth. And that's where my mom met this guy. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because in Utah, alcohol, like hard alcohol, is only sold at one type of store. You can't get it at Walmart or the local grocery store. It's not at Walgreens. Like, it's literally at one store, and you can't buy it on Sundays. And we come out here, and alcohol is everywhere. And so when he started working and having more money, he started drinking more and more. And one night we were drinking, but he was drinking right out of the bottle, and no chaser, no mixed drink, just straight up out of the bottle. And I opened a can of Coke and took a gulp out of it and put like a shot or two in it and was drinking that. And I noticed that he was already at the halfway mark, and we haven't even been home for an hour at that point. So I got really scared because I didn't know. I've never seen him drunk. Like, I've only seen sober him. I don't like to drink. I don't like to party. I like to color in the mornings outside. I like to make dinner. I like to do home stuff. I collect freaking rocks. Like, I'm not at the clubs. I don't want to go to the bar and drink and shoot pool, and I don't want to do any of that. And that's what stuff that he wanted to do. But, so he's already halfway at the bottle at this point. So I, got a cup and I poured out about half of the vodka and filled the rest up with water and gave it back to him, and he was really pissed about that and just started saying rude comments and stuff. And then I wrote him a letter for his trip out here, and if you know me, I don't write letters. I don't do that. I'm not going to sit down and write you a 3-page thing of how I'm feeling. Like, no. But I did that for him because that's something that he wanted. And it took me hours. And I thought it out carefully, every single word. And he still hasn't read it. And it really hurt me. So I left for a minute. And I got down the block. And I turned around and I came back. Because I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't a movie. Like, he ain't gonna come follow me. Anyways, and I come back and we go back and forth, and he's trying to lay down, and I'm at the edge of the bed talking, well, aggressively talking. I'm not saying hurtful names. I'm not using vulgar language. I'm literally telling him how it makes me feel and how I feel like this is unfair, and everything is so unfair because I literally packed up and moved in the middle of the country away from everybody, and for him to sit there and keep telling me I need to show him I love him, and for him to not even read the letter that he asked for, that I did not want to do, but I did for him, and he still hasn't read it, and then he has the audacity to tell me that I need to do more things to make him know that I love him. It was just crazy. It was just crazy because all I asked for him was intimacy. Like, anyways, we go back. Well, I'm mainly going back and forth, and he's just laying there. And then I said something. I can't remember exactly what I said. And then he either pushes me or kicks me off the bed, and I fall backwards, and it knocks the ever-living wind out of me. And I cannot breathe, and I'm gasping for air because I fell straight on my back. And he's laughing, and then we're going back and forth even more now because now I'm like mentally hurt and physically hurt, and he's laughing like he thought it was funny. And then he's saying hurtful things about my daughter, saying that I don't care about her and that she was a mistake, and I was like, yeah, I don't care about my daughter. Yeah, she was a mistake. Like, just doing that because he's drunk, and my daughter saved my life. If it wasn't for my daughter, I would still be doing all types of drugs and not giving a fuck. Giving a fuck about what my actions are affecting other people. And then, he says another hurtful thing to me, and I said, you know what, if this is how it's going to be, I'm just going to get drunk. So I tried to drink, and he takes the bottle from me, and then he literally attacks me and chokes me and puts me in a chokehold. I mean, we don't need to go into the details of everything that happened from that point. It was very scary for me. I've never been in a situation where someone literally was choking me and I couldn't. I mean, I ended up dead. Once I realized I couldn't get his arms off of my neck, I grabbed his dick and his balls and I squeezed with all my might until he let go, and thank goodness I did, because it was starting to go fuzzy and sparkly and I didn't know what was gonna happen. He gets in bed and falls asleep, and then I get in bed and I clean up the mess that was made, And then I get in bed and go to sleep. And the next morning, he wakes up and he's disgusted with the things that I said about my daughter, but in reality, I was just mocking what he was saying. I was saying what he was saying right back to him. And then I was like, I didn't say that. Yes, you did. And I'm like, no, you were saying that. I was. And he just gets up and he leaves without shoes because he's so sad he cannot wear shoes. So I notice he doesn't have his shoes, and I go to take him his shoes to the bathroom because there's no bathroom in there. You have to walk to go to the bathroom. So I take him his shoes, and I noticed that, like, he was super upset. And I was like, what's going on? He said, I'm going to unalive myself because you're disgusting and I'm disgusting, and look at your body. Because I had bruises around my neck. I had bruises around my ribs. I have bruises on my outer thigh, my inner thigh, my ankles. Like, I was covered. And I said, we can work things out. You just gotta stop drinking. Alcohol's the problem. And he told me it wasn't. He told me I was the problem and that he's gonna kill himself because I caused it. And I'm like, well, if you're going to kill yourself, I'm not gonna let you. I can't just leave you knowing that you're gonna kill yourself. And you go, I'm gonna do it with or without you here, so just leave. And then he's like, I need a drink. So I go back and I get him a juice that we have here, and I go back, and then I hand him the juice, and then I look down, and his shoelaces are no longer on his shoes. And I'm not gonna get into the next bits because that was the scariest moments of my entire life. And it was hours. I literally was fighting this man from himself for hours. And he had me leave my phone at home and ended up jumping out of my vehicle. And he tried multiple times, but he finally did it. And the person behind me stopped and she didn't stop. I waved her down because she stopped and she was rolling by so slow. And I'm like, please roll down your window. And she didn't, and so I waved at her, and she parked, and she came, and I said, my boyfriend is trying to hurt himself, and I don't know what to do, and I don't have a phone, and I don't have a way to contact anyone. And she said, I'll call the cops. And then he takes off further down the road, and I follow him because I don't want him to hurt himself. And but there's like this little cute little pond with a tree and whatever, and he goes sits underneath the tree, and I'm praying to God that he's calming down. And I'm like, please calm him down. Please make these feelings pass, please. And then the lady came up to me, and she asked me if she can pray for me, and I told her I need all the help get. I'm not going to tell you no to a prayer. So we prayed, and then when we were done praying, he came back and told her that there was a spider in the car, and got back in the car. And then I told her that we were staying at the KOA and to please send help, and then I'm going to try to go there and stay there, but I don't know how much longer I can fight this man from himself. So we get here at the KOA, and I'm trying to be so slow because we get here so I can grab the stuff that he bought me to take it back to Walmart. so he can have money for alcohol, because he wanted to be numb. And I was like, yeah, I'll go get the stuff. And I'm slowly getting things. And we see a cop pull in, and he goes, I hope you know, if that's for us and you call the cops, I will kill myself in front of you tonight when he leaves. And my heart. And the cop comes and stops and talks to him, and another officer comes and talks to me, and I don't know at this point what he's telling them, but I am breaking down in front of this officer, telling him I don't know what to do. I can't do it anymore, and that they can't leave him here with me because So, it takes him about 3 hours to get out of my car. He was tased twice. It took 5 police officers to get him out of my car. And he goes to the mental hospital for a couple days, and everyone's telling me that I shouldn't talk to him, I shouldn't whatever, and I don't talk to him. And then the day that we thought he was going to be released, I packed up all his stuff, and I go to take it to them, but they wouldn't let me leave the stuff there, so, sorry. So I called the hospital and spoke to him, and he doesn't remember the majority of that day. And that broke my heart, because I will never forget. I have nightmares. I can't not cry when I think about it. But then he tells me he loves me, and he wants to marry me, and that he's sorry, and that he thinks he shouldn't drink again, and he's telling me all these good things. And then he ends up not getting out of the hospital that day, and he stays for a couple of days, but now we're talking. And he gets out of the hospital and talks to his friends and talks to everyone, and then looks at me and says, you know, it's really kind of fucked up how you didn't have my back while I was in the hospital. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, it doesn't seem like you were advocating for me while I was in the hospital. I'm like, well, advocating for what? Well, it seems like you didn't tell everybody what your part was in the whole night before. I'm like, Dalen. Fuck. I didn't mean to say his name. Went this whole time. And I said, I told them what happened, and I only talked about you trying to kill yourself, not the other way around. Like, it takes two in everything. Yes, I had a part in it, and yes, I told everyone I had a part in it, and yes, I told them that we were fighting, and yes, I told them we had issues. We had issues. I didn't have issues. We had issues together, and your issues are the reason why you ended up in the hospital. Sorry, there was a freaking, I don't even know what it is. It's like a yellow flying thing that was on my finger. And he told me, well, that I needed to take accountability. And I wonder if these are baby dragonflies. It's on my phone now. Tells me that I need to take accountability, and I was so confused because in my head, he needs to take accountability. He has been in this spot in every single relationship he's been in. He's been in that situation that he put me in. Maybe he didn't talk them into moving halfway across the country. I'm literally like 4 states away, I believe. I don't know. Away from Utah. I don't know anybody here at all. I didn't come here because my friend sent me here. Like, so he has people here and I don't. And so we decided not to be together anymore. At first it wasn't mutual, but now it is. And the more I'm away from him, the more that I realize that he's so scary. Like, the things that, like, just thinking about his interactions that I've witnessed him have with everybody is just so scary, because he's so fake and he's really not that person that he is when he's at the bar or when he's the life of the party that he tries so hard to be. So now I'm here. I don't want to go home. I don't want to call my family. I just want to be. I'm trying to figure out a living situation because it's currently raining right now, and living in that, yes, it's very nice, but you can't escape the rain, whether it be the wetness or the sound. Especially, I mean, if you, that's all, it's all fabric. Like, it's all fabric. Now it's raining even more. I've been sitting in the rain the whole time. I am under a tree, so it's not so bad, but it's, I don't know, can you see? But yeah, so now I am stuck here. Well, I'm not necessarily stuck. I could probably call home and get money to go home if I really wanted to, but I don't. That is my update. If you want more updates, let me know. Comment, subscribe, I guess. I don't know. I'm just so hurt and defeated, and I've been getting rained on for the last 30 minutes, and sounds like it's coming down even more. So, thanks for listening if you listened to the whole thing. I mean, it's my crazy shit show life, I guess. Bye.